Welcome back, everybody. My name is Grace, or Gibby, whatever you prefer, and today I'm here covering today's update during the June Father's Day / lore update. So today, yesterday, we received the Trader's Lash quest, which I'll go through at the end, or go through parts of it at the end. And that gave us 2 items, the Parian's Crest and the pet that nobody cares about the name of. We're going to call it GRO2, because it's basically like GRO Symbiote, but number 2. And then we also got the limited time Father's Day shop with the multi-maul hammer. Now I'm going to talk about the Parian Crest misc and the GRO2 before I talk about the multi-maul, because the multi-maul is such a crazy ass weapon. There's so much more to talk about. Okay, so ignore the multi-maul in my inventory, but we are going to talk about the Primordial Defender, aka GRO2. Now look at this guy. Honestly, the art absolutely killed it. I really like it. And then we're also going to have the Parian Crest. Now you'll notice I hit him 1 time and I inflicted a power 2.2 burn. If I use a 2-hit armor with the Parian Crest, you'll notice I'm going to inflict double that. Now also you'll see the pet, his green eye is now slightly lighter. Okay. Now his green eye is yellow, and you'll see what he's going to do. But also I didn't inflict a power 4.4 burn. Oh, there we go, power 4.4. Oh, I missed the animation on the pet, so we're going to have to repeat that. But as you can see from the battle log, which I'm about to pull up, it said you and your foe are both blinded by the explosive charge. Now, for those who remember GRO Symbiote, you'll remember that the pet has a chance to daze you and the opponent. This pet is pretty much the same. Your Primordial Defender weakens the damage you take from the attack, and then every 3 turns it attacks, and you and your opponent are both blinded by the explosive charge. So it tries to inflict a blind, and the base value of the blind is it's minus 25, and it lasts for 3 turns. And it's based off the monster's earth and wind resistance. So how can it be based off both of them? Well, it takes the average and then inflicts the blind based off that. So it's cool. It's a minus 25 blind, and again, I'm just going to attack so we can see the pet go off again. But the thing to note is that, first of all, the blind is based off dexterity. So if you have no dexterity, you're more likely to be blinded. The animation is actually sick. But yeah, so it's a 3-turn blind. And it's pretty good because it lasts the whole way through. So if you blind the monster with the pet, the blind will stay around until the next infliction, which I really like. But that being said, if I'm not running a dexterity build, I really don't want to have a blind on myself. Just because blind's a damaging status. Like, unironically, it'll get you if you miss 25% more often. And the reason also that I don't love the pet is that the defensive bonus is 1/3 the strength of the GRO Symbiote bonus. So as you can see, this pet also does the same thing. I'm going to just run through 1 attack cycle. This guy's older, so he just changes colors like a beetle. And then he will do his little light-dark attack versus the Primordial Defender's Earth and Wind attack. But it's the same thing, and GRO Symbiote inflicts a daze, but this guy inflicts a blind. Again, it's the same thing. Same type of deal. I'm probably not going to be using him because the main reason I use GRO Symbiote is for the damage reduction, because attacking something with opposite elements usually isn't that helpful. And this guy just has smaller damage reduction, so I'm probably not going to use him. But the blind is actually pretty hefty, so I can see people using this for dodge builds. Okay, so that's it for the pet. I really like the art. The effect is cool, but weaker than Chiaro Symbiote for the stuff that I like to use it for, but it might find a niche in dodge builds. We'll have to see. So next, Parian Crest. Before I tell you what the misc does, let's look at my stats. So 250 int charisma and endurance. Now that I have the misc, I'm 50 strength, 300 endurance, 270 charisma, and 50 luck. So it gives strength, endurance, and luck, and then also a little bit of charisma. Basically, it's good for warriors, the stat drive, and not for other builds as much, but you know, is what it is. I'm currently using a mage, so keep that in mind. But basically what it does is it inflicts a burn based off your hit count. So that burn, I hit 4 hits, so I got an 8.8 power burn. If I use the Gog Shapeshift ability, I'm going to get 7 hits. And let me just make sure I have a magic weapon. Yeah, okay. I'm going to get 7 hits, and I should have a power like 14, 15 burn. So let's see how much damage this power 15 burn does. 700. So it's definitely RNG dependent because the burn damage, 1, it has to inflict, and 2, there's some base and random element to burn. Like I'll attack him again, and we'll see it'll probably do a different amount than 718. But, well, let's wait and see how much it does. But, yeah, 600 roughly. What I do like about this is that it's basically like an extra hit count against damage caps. So let's attack with an average 2 hit armor, pretty normal, and power 4.4 burn. That ends up doing 163 damage. So if you have a 4 hit armor, you'll do maybe about 300 damage. A 2 hit armor, maybe about 150. So it can add like another hit count onto your attack that basically, you know, helps you surpass damage caps, or just adds a little bit of extra damage to your turn. Also, for an offensive misc, it's quite cheap because it doesn't give elemental resistance. So if you're a strength, endurance, luck warrior, or even a strength, charisma, luck warrior, you'll probably find that it's pretty helpful. Now the last thing that I'm going to show you is the abuse case for this misc. And that is going to be Fireball Z, which is 15 hits, because the misc works with spells. So let's just go crazy, go to town. I've got Celerity, and I'm not even going to show you the burn power until right before it inflicts, just because it's pretty nuts. So this is 30 hit count in 1 turn, and for those quick maths, power 66 burn. Inspired by the devil? Who's to say? Not me. But yeah, casual 2k burn damage off 1 turn. This is weak against damage caps, but it's definitely a cool showcase, and if you have burn damage steroids, like I think Neko has a 25% burn damage bonus, you could definitely make use of this misc and hit some crazy numbers. So, very strong misc, inflicts burn, a little bit unreliable because, you know, you have to be offensive to get high hit count, but you need the status potency to inflict burn. But very good misc, very good stat investment, and it's very cheap. It's only 73 SP, I believe. Yeah, so let's like 1138 up to 1211, which sounds like, what, 73? Yeah, 73 SP. So, really solid misc. Okay, for the multi-maul, which we're going to talk about a bit, I'm going to go over to the Tub Thumper boss from the Dragon of Time Anniversary. You go to Secret, and you go to, just click a little bit, and you'll get to the, like, Terrible 12 or whatever. I can't even remember anything about this, but I know that Tub Thumper is a great monster to test on. So I'll just run over to him real quick, and start to show you what happens with the multi-maul. Now this weapon, oh my gosh, first of all, let's take a look at it. It's got a little animation. You can turn it around, hammer mode, plier mode. Pliers is inaccurate, hammer is accurate. It just looks good. It just looks good. I'm going to use a wind armor. No, I'm not. What am I talking about? I'm fighting an earth monster. I'm going to use an earth armor, just chilling. And what's my earth shield right now? Mother's Growth shield. So, let's talk about what the weapon does. First of all, I'm going to lose a little bit of HP here. It charges damage, or it charges HP to do 20% damage, just like a Blood Blade. So 1, it's a free-to-play Blood Blade. Oh, I'm using a melee weapon. We're not going to worry about that for now. So it charges HP to do plus 20% damage. That's good on its own. I like free-to-play releases that compete with GGB options, Golden Gift Box options. Secondly, when you toggle it to this mode, the entire field, pets, guests, spells, miscs, weapons, enemies, all get minus 15 BTH lean. So they lose 15 BTH and do 30% more damage. If you have it in hammer mode, they gain 15 BTH and do 15% less damage. So that's good. That's a strong effect. And there's a lot of ways to use it, and I'm going to break down a couple of them. So if you're starting off, you just want to use it on the accurate mode. Let's pretend that this is a boss with a stun phase, and you have to hit it a certain amount of times to, to like stop the large attack from landing. You can have your pet and guest. They'll be boosted in accuracy, and you can also use a multi-hit effect. And again, remember, it works on spells. So you can make sure that a ton of your hits are going to land, even if they do slightly reduced damage. It gives you reliability in the weapon slot. See, I think every single hit landed that turn, even my pet and guest. And I have no dexterity for them, only charisma, so it really is quite good for that. You could even combine it with Ring of Precision if you really wanted to hit something, or if you're fighting a very dodgy monster, like perhaps the Void Dragon Empress, or a sneak. In fact, please hold on. Speaking of a very dodgy monster, I'm going to use Ring of Precision in combination with the hammer mode, and now I'm getting plus 30 accuracy, which is nuts. That's just from my weapon and misc. So that also will, because it's a BTH lean, it will multiply my damage by 73%. So I'm losing out on about 25% damage, but look at that accuracy on a monster with 140 MRM. It's just crazy, dude. Like, it's such good accuracy. Also, I'm in an earth armor, whatever. No big deal, but the accuracy value on the hammer is insane if you really want to make sure you're hitting your opponent. I'm going to go back to Tub Thumper. Okay, the other thing that I really like about this weapon is you can use it for your pets and guests if you're not running accuracy stats. And now the stat revamp is happening, but pet and guest accuracy won't be decoupled from dexterity for at least another couple months. So if you're a beast warrior or a beast mage, you can just main hand this weapon and either cast a spell or attack or do whatever, and it'll really help out your pet and guest. It'll basically bring them up to dexterity levels of accuracy just by holding the weapon. Now you will lose 15% damage, but I think that for a lot of players that definitely might be a worthy trade. Also, the last thing that I really like about this hammer is remember that the accuracy lean also affects the monster. So the monster will be more likely to hit you, but it also takes an unavoidable 15% damage penalty. So, like, if I were fighting a really strong boss or a boss with a big ass nuke, I could equip this weapon before it nuked me, and it would do 15% less damage. So it's not like complete defense, but it's another defensive modifier you can use to take less damage. Okay, now let's switch into Berserk mode, which is the pliers, and this is gonna be kind of insane when people get around to using it. So I think one thing that is going to be really good is boosting auto hit effects. Now, I don't have an auto hit spell on me, and honestly, there are no great auto hit spells that I could use. Actually, maybe I'll grab one in a little bit, but I'm going to make my guest auto hit, and I'm going to use double berserk. So I put on Grakma Horn, and I have the weapon on pliers mode, so I'm just going to attack. And I'm not using any other boosters. I think I have a COD drive shield, but it's compared to... So I did a 128 per hit, basically. Now let's toggle off Berserk and switch to a different weapon. Well, I won't use Staff of Awe, but I'll use this weapon. 82, 69, 91. So you can see massive difference in damage if you are able to use this in combination with Berserk or just it on its own. for auto hit effects. So it's a really strong bonus to auto hit effects because they gain the benefit of all the damage boosting, but don't have the detriment of missing more often because, obviously, they're auto hit. Now, you can also just use it as a pure damage weapon. This whole, what I'm saying is you can, oh, whoops, I misclicked. But you can also use the multi-maul just as a pure damage weapon. In terms of pure damage weapons, the strongest one we had before was the Shadow Reaper Axe, because it had minus 25 BTH lean, closely followed by the Troll Club, Savage Troll Club, which both had really high damage multipliers. I think Savage Troll Club is a 1.307 damage multiplier. But this weapon not only has that 1.307 damage multiplier from the minus 15 BTH lean. Actually, let me double check the numbers. Sorry, I got that wrong. It's a 1.21x multiplier for damage, but still really high. Not only does it have that 1.21x berserk multiplier, but it also has the plus 20 additive damage bonus. So, like, again, I'm not going to do much damage because I'm not running strength. But it's a really good pure damage weapon for warriors and for people who could use range lock skills with this weapon. It's just very high pure damage, and it will probably be the strongest warring weapon for anyone who has it. So I already bought the Father's Day painting because I knew I might want multiple copies. But this weapon is just, it's really good. I recommend getting one for all of your accounts. Just for warring, just for boosting, it's really good. Now, it's the best pure damage weapon, I already said that, but you can also use it to boost spells, so I didn't mean to cast that, I'll be honest. I wanted to summon this guy. So I'm the type of guy to boost my spells a lot. You guys have seen me do it when I speedrun quests, but let's just get my little setup going with my Berserk Guest, my now Berserk Weapon, and my Int Drive Shield. Okay, so I want to make sure my toggles on Necromancer are on. They are. I'm going to use Arcane Amplification. So some of this stuff is pay to win, but like, you don't need all of it. And just the weapon on its own is really good if you can counteract the accuracy with something like Urn of Osiris. It'll give you the damage and it'll counteract the accuracy loss, which is just great. Now, I think that's everything I need, and let's just use Destruction Burst. Just a casual, like, 3.5k damage. Again, some of that's coming from Necromancer, some of that's coming from Legion Fenrir, some of that's coming from my int boosts, but this weapon makes it possible to boost even higher amounts of damage, which is just sick. It's great. It's really powerful. You can use it on spells, you can use it on spell-type skills, you can use it on weapon-based effects. All of them will be boosted by a ton by the Berserk effect. And then weapon-based skills also get the blood boost on top. So, I'm talking about Berserk. The only reason I landed all my hits is because I have Urn of Osiris, 390 Intellect, and Arcane Amplification. But, what if you had auto-hit effects? What would happen then? Well, I'm going to show you what will happen then. So, I'm going to have Fairy Godmother, and I'm going to use a healing spell. So first, let me find my Grakma Harbinger. That's one Berserk stack. The Guest is a second Berserk stack. I've got the weapon as a third Berserk stack, basically. So I'm taking minus 45 bonus to hit, but because I'm going to use auto hit effects, I won't see the detriment of that minus 45 to hit. So let's use Overcharged Cure Fatal Wounds. This is a Z token spell, but it's just a healing spell. And I bought it because I like to see big numbers. So 750, 1000, and 1200. That's about a 3k heal, which is just crazy. Actually, it's so crazy. I'm going to lower my HP a ton. I'm going to lower it to, like, I don't know, maybe 500 HP, and then do it again and see what happens. Because I didn't even look at Fairy Godmother. I was so distracted by the massive HP heals. So, Slake Mind, Grakma Harbinger, and Overcharged Cure Fatal Wounds. 1k, 1k, 1.5k. 3.5k heal because of all these Berserk effects. And my Fairy Godmother just healed 70 106, 89, so 270 HP with no specific pet or guest boosting. All just berserk effects. So if you have auto hit pets, auto hit guests, auto hit spells or attacks, this weapon is a godsend, bro. It is really, really good. There's one specific auto hit spell that I really want to showcase, so I'm going to go and grab that now, and you'll see me right back in the fight with full resources. Okay, so here we are again with a little used armor, the Laser Blazer armor. Now for those who don't remember, this armor has an auto hit skill if you successfully click the mirrors. And so I want to use it with this triple berserk effect and see how much damage I can do. Now, I haven't done this in a long time. There we go, I think I got it right. Yeah, okay. So if you successfully get the mirror, flat 2.4k off of a 490 SP charisma-based skill, it's just good. Now let's undo the berserk and put a random weapon instead of a charisma weapon, and again turn off the berserk from this, and you'll see the damage change is going to be pretty significant. I mean, it's all accounting for base and random, but yeah, so 1.3k without berserk compared to 2.4k with berserk. So auto hit effects, you can really go crazy on them, thanks to the multi-maul. And the other stuff I have, of course. Legion Fender is a rare golden gift box. I really recommend it. Grakma Horn is a MC set item that you get from the from Hollow's MC set. Just a great item. And then finally, like I said about the hammer mode, the pliers also affect the monster. So the monster will take minus 15 BTH and do 1.2 times damage. You can use that to dodge better. It's a little bit better than the Madam weapons, which give 12 defenses. These ones give 15 effectively. So if you have guaranteed dodge, they're a little more efficient. But you can also use it to boost your backlash damage if the monster is going to hit you. Just a lot of uses for this weapon, and it's just so good. I can't get enough of it. Now, with all that being said, I am going to do a little bit of today's quest, just to showcase some items and showcase the monsters in the quest. Okay, so here I am in today's events. I'm going to start the quest, and I'll probably pause and continue the recording when I end up against the new types of enemies, the God Scourge enemies, because we have these God Scourge husks you can fight in the quest. Yeah, this FPS drop is quite something. I've done the quest a couple times, it's consistent. But we also have some boring monsters that you've seen before, like the Farthingale, that I won't bother showcasing, except once. So I'm going to showcase it once, just to show you how strong the triple berserk stuff I'm going to do with my spellcasting is. So I've got Fenrir, and I've got, I'll use Shadow Feeder real quick. Maybe not. Who needs it? But I've got Fenrir, and I've got Earth of Osiris, and I've got Obsidian Robes, and let's see, Ice, Earth, and Fire and Energy. Let's just dome him with a quick Polala boosted Destruction Burst with Arcane Amplification on top. So we've got the weapon and the Legion Fenrir. About 4k damage. So again, this weapon is really good for boosting if you can make up the accuracy, and if you don't have the accuracy built in, I recommend something like Time Gauntlet, Mindbreaker Shield, or other defense loss sources, if you can use them, if you have access. But yeah, I'm very excited to speed through this quest with these new items. With that being said, I'm going to pause until I get to a God Scourge / Primordial monster. Okay, so here we are against a God Scourge Husk. I don't need pet celerity, so I'm going to remove my pet to have cheaper celerity costs. A little low on HP, but I think it should be fine. Pretty sure I'm going to two-shot him. Yeah, so I'm going to get mana from Mind Gauntlet. Again, I'm using a bunch of pay-to-win items, but I just want to show you guys some of the power of the setup. So let's see. Arcane Amplification, and he's weak to fire, wind, and light. Let's just see what War Master Burst does. Oh, was that Was that 6k? 7.5k to 1.5k. Yeah, I think that was 6k. And now we'll do Fireball Z, just because I want to see what the damage cap damage would look like. So like between 180 and 400 damage each hit with this setup. So if you wanted to get around a low damage cap, definitely a good way to do it. I would recommend it. So now I'll wait until we get to the next new Primordial enemy. Okay, I said I was going to wait for a Primordial, but what I like about this weapon is I see a dodgy monster, I can just switch the BTH lean and then go to town. And just like that, I'm just easily hitting. It's so convenient. Okay, so this is the Godscourge Watcher monster. Take a quick look at him. It's a little ugly, I won't even lie to you, but I'm going to read his description. Once a cyclops of a Skraeling tribe, this man now serves as a tormented puppet for traitorous will. Their singular eye has been replaced by a fell power of foul winds and harmful toxins. So it sort of says in the description, but foul winds and harmful toxins. I think it's going to use a wind SP attack. So let's see if that's true, because I actually didn't test it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use the Shadow Stalker shield that I got from the gold donation, which protects against all elements, against primordials. You can see it's a primordial because the shield is lit up. And I'm also going to use the Shadow Stalker's Wisdom weapon, which should be triggered right now. We'll see though. And let's see, Shadow Stalker Charm, yeah, makes the color different. So I'm just playing around with some items. I want to experiment against this monster and see what types of effects it has. So I'll just attack a couple turns. He attacks with dark. You shield your face from the green fumes. Okay, so it has a poison effect. I'm gonna grab Fairy Godmother. Actually, why not use Primordial Defender? Why not? So I'm gonna just attack again. And let's see if his SP attack is wind. I might end up taking some heavy damage, but no big deal. Oh, harm and wind SP attack. Now that's interesting. Not what I expected, but cool. Okay, now I'm gonna try hard a little bit. Let's just use this click skill. Can I please use the click skill? Thank you. Yeah, so I just domed him with harm damage. That's the full set bonus. I think it does void against some things, but I can't remember what. But yeah, so I'm just do that. And I want to see what happens if I bleed out his mana entirely too. Because for the other boss, if you bleed it out its mana entirely, you got a bonus. But I don't know if that'll happen with this one. So let's see. I'll use Grasp Essence and Rend Mana. Oh, that was easy. Let's see. If we get a pop-up after it runs out of mana. Doesn't seem like it. Did it lose a status? Well, I didn't notice anything. But with that being said, I'm going to just nuke the pants off this guy. So let's drop a Grand Haunting on his ass. I'll use Arcane Amp. What's his accuracy? Yeah, his accuracy is pretty, or his defense is pretty. His defense is pretty low. So I'm gonna use the multi-maul as well. Make sure it's on pliers mode, and just hope that it actually. I'm gonna use Time Gauntlet real quick. Oh, the defense loss didn't inflict. That's too bad. But I should hit most of my hits anyways with these boosts. Oh my god! Did you guys see what I just saw? Oh my god. Well, that was kind of nuts. Let's just pretend that didn't happen because... what on earth? Did one hit of Haunting hit for 4k? Did you guys see that? He's only 150 to dark, like... Okay, that's nuts. That's nuts. Maybe when he ran out of mana, he started taking more damage. Like 1.5x damage, like the other boss. That could be part of the reason that hit so hard, but that actually shocked me, dude. Jeez, man. let's try again on this one. Why not? Same boosts, roughly the same defense. Should be a good test. Okay, so I think because it ran out of mana, it was taking more damage. I mean, still does a ton of damage with Grand Haunting, and the triple berserk stacked up. And again, if you don't have Legion Fenrir, you can get almost this effect with just the multi-maul and the Grakma Horn. So it's not like this method is totally pay to win. Like Arcane Amp is really good, but you can do other stuff. You can use Elivone. You know, it's not the only option. That being said, this setup does make me feel even more broken than usual. Wow. Wow, okay. So that was pretty quick. Oh, and here is the Godscourge Seeker. So this is the next new monster. This guy just attacks with wind. So I'm going to use my Academy Pack shield because no real reason not to. But this guy has a hard damage cap, which is actually interesting. So really, I'm probably not going to benefit. Oh, actually, I know what I want to do. I want to see how much damage I can do with one celerity turn of Fireball Z with these Berserk boosters. So first, I'm going to make sure to inflict defense loss. My foe's reflexes are slowed. Okay, great. Next, I'm going to make sure to keep my mana up. I'm going to use Arcane Amplification just cause I got time. I'm in no hurry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drain the monster's mana and then do my whole nuking setup and try to kill in one turn, even through its 670 hard damage cap, because I think that would be kind of cool. I would show you guys its mechanics, but the mechanics are pretty boring. It just does wind attacks and inflicts a harm poison, that I saw at least. Like it didn't do anything too special, so like I wasn't too bothered. Yeah, so it just lost. I don't know what status it just lost, but it lost one of them. Permanent Berserk mana burn, vulnerable when out of mana. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened after I got rid of the mana. Maybe I'll put an edited clip up, or an edited pop-up here. But is it still defense lost? It is. Okay, so Grakma Harbinger, Legion Fenrir, Multi-Maul, Polala. Oh, I forgot my celerity. I need celerity to do a 1000 HP one-shot. Sorry, that's a League reference. Cringe game, I know. Anyways, let's make sure we have everything. 350 intellect, arcane amplification. Oh my gosh, look at that. Ellie shields too. Did they patch the Ellie shield? That's a question for another video. But Grakma Harbinger. I think my accuracy should be pretty good here. So 670 HP hard cap damage. Let's see how good we do. I think I just hit above a 670, so something ain't right. Yeah, I hit a 691, so maybe the damage cap also goes away, but the pop-up doesn't. Yeah, I just hit a 700. But we did one-shot the boss from full HP with Fireball Z. So just a fun little showcase, and again, I'll show you the shop just because we're already here. But I think there is a lot of cutscenes, so I'm gonna pause this real quick because the video is already 33 minutes. Okay, here's the reward shop. I already showed you, but the Primordial Defender is the Chiaro 2. We're calling him Chiaro 2 now, publicly. Just a cool little pet, just a cool little guy hanging out. And the Parian Crest, misc. Apparently there's lore info in here, but I have to catch up on the lore, so I'm not going to worry about it. But yeah, 73 SP, cool little item. And highlight of the shop, honestly. Might recognize this face because I've been using it the whole video, but this is the Demon Scout face, female version, which I really like. I don't know if I'm going to use it forever, but I like it right now. So yeah, the male one I don't really like as much, kind of basic. But this one I like a lot. But yeah, that's pretty much the video. crazy update, honestly. We got a clone of a loved misc, the demon mask, or samurai mask or whatever. We got a clone of a loved pet, but it's weaker defensively but stronger utility-wise, which is cool. So it still has a use. And we got the multi-maul, which is a nuts weapon. As you saw, I hit that guy for 4k per hit on a Grand Haunting. So like, it's just nuts. It's just nuts. Really strong update for items. Really cool update. Definitely grab yourself some items and pop into the game. With that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know if there's any specific showcases you want to see, like a dodge set up efficiently, or a berserk set up efficiently with auto hit spells. My text, sorry. Let me know if you have any ideas on stuff to do, more Shadow Stalker showcases, just whatever. I'm down for it. But have a great day, spread some peace and love, and treat yourself with care and respect. I'll see you all later. Bye-bye.